Woohoo! My name is Vin Thomas. I came up here today from Salem. I am a family man first, and I also own a design studio called Fixel, and am recently started building a app called Cubtab, which is an email app for kids. And I'm just going to share a little bit about my story today, and hopefully inspire you guys a little bit to start on some of your projects. I'm going to start with a confession, and that's first that I'm a phony. And what I mean by that is that I am a high school dropout. I eventually finished, but convicted criminal. I'm untrained formally in my field and completely insecure a lot of the times, including right now. But I grew up in Canada, and when I was 19, moved down to Texas to go to Bible school. Moved from Texas up to Salem to finish school, convinced a beautiful lady to marry me, which was my first kind of big feat. When the school shut down shortly after we were married, I did what we all dream of doing, which is to drive school buses. And in the meantime, I played a little music, so I started hacking and trying to figure out how to build a website for myself. And in the course of about 6 months, I learned a little bit. There's me in between Lance and JT. I came up with about a dozen different iterations of my site in about 6 months. And through that, I just learned a ton. Well, then we found out we were having a baby. And I knew I needed to do something better than drive school buses, so no offense. And so I applied for a job at Courthouse Fitness to be their web designer, completely unqualified. And of course, I got the job, which began my 3.5-year period of on-the-job training where I hustled as hard as I could to learn how to design, how to code, and how to interact with clients when I started my freelance business on the side. And I actually became decent at what I do, good at what I do. And so in 2010, I convinced a couple other guys to come in with me to start a design business called Fixel, which I still run and work at. And they said yes. And they're all much better at what they do than I am. But it was amazing. Like, we're finally doing this. I jumped in. I took the risk. But then fear got me. And 2 months after starting Fixel, I was offered a job at a PR firm up in Portland. And there's that regular paycheck and the benefits and the retirement, and so I took it. And for 1.5 years, I worked for Wagner Edstrom, commuting in and out, and Fixel took a back seat. But Fixel didn't take a back seat. It kept growing and growing, and we kept getting bigger and better clients, and I knew that something had to give, either Fixel or I needed to go just do the day job thing. And so I took that step. I wasn't ready. Now I have 2 kids, and I took that step and started Fixel, and it's been the best career decision I could have made. And even this year, we recently dove in and started this email app for kids. I have a 6-year-old and a 4-year-old, and we want to build safe email for kids. And shortly after starting that, I'm going, holy crap, I am not qualified to build a product and to lead this team. I'm not a president, I'm not a CEO, I have no business training, but we're actually doing some really fun and amazing things. And you know, I'm just trying to do what I want to do and do what I have a passion to do. I think there's 3 things that kind of get in my way. Fear, and not feeling ready and not knowing what's out there. Insecurity, not feeling like I have the skills or what it takes to pull these things off. And then sometimes there's just the comfort of not wanting to leave my situation. But I try to remember the colonel who, when he was 65, began to sell his chicken and was turned down 1,000 times before he was finally given an opportunity to retire 10 years later as a multimillionaire. Or Babe Ruth, who was considered one of the greatest athletes of his time, who, when he retired, also held the record for strikeouts. Walt Disney was turned down 300 times for financing for his dream to open a theme park. Michael Jordan said, I have missed more than 9,000 shots in my career. I've lost almost 300 games. On 26 occasions, I've been entrusted to take the game-winning shot, and I missed. I've failed over and over and over again in my life, and that is why I succeed. And so I think all of us in here have dreams and passions, and all of us in here are looking to do something greater. And fear and failure is just a part of that journey to success. Don't let that stop you from doing what you have in your heart. And I found that most people are not as hard on you as you are on yourself. And so if there's fear holding you back, there's insecurity holding you back, maybe it's just being comfortable where you are, I just encourage you guys to start. And whether that doesn't mean you have to quit your day job, maybe it means waking up a little bit earlier or going to bed a little later, working a weekend. You've been given a dream and a passion. I just encourage you guys to start working at it because you never know what you can do unless you start. I know that that's true for me in starting with absolutely no training at all and just been blessed to be where I am today, and that's all because I've just giving it a go. Start before you're ready. Thank you. My name's Vin Thomas. I'd love to connect with you guys today or on Twitter.